What's good? It's your boy Overpower Dynasty coming to you live and direct with a straightforward, no antics, no special effects type video, no beats in this one, no graphic design, no none of that stuff. Just me spitting the real, the raw. I'm actually in the car right now. I was like, let me shoot a quick video, and because I've been on a nice little tear on YouTube, going through, checking out producers, beat makers, and just seeing what's out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the content, seeing people's work progression, producing styles, and so forth. And I've been leaving comments on a lot of videos. So I just want to say this, starting off. What I'm about to talk about today is bass lines and 808 drums, and I've made a lot of comments on a lot of videos. So if you are watching this and I made a comment on one of your newer videos and it was about the 808 drum, do not take this video personal, please. I can only just ask, you know what I'm saying? You can't control people, but I've been on a lot of videos, not just one, not two, not three. I'm on my phone, so I just go down, I click the bell, and I just start scrolling down to see who uploaded, you know what I mean? And whoever's uploaded a beat, I just click in there and just check it out, and I listen, and I give my honest opinion. No fluff, 100% honest opinion, because it's too much of the fluff in the comment section, and there's a lot of different reasons why there's a lot of fluff in the comment section that I'm not gonna really go into. Everybody already know. But to me, I feel like the fluff, or like just being like just whatever, like the fakeness, is not helping the community or helping like the specific producer that's the channel owner. You know what I mean? So I also want to say this: none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. My beats are not perfect by any means. I'm not no platinum selling artist, you know what I'm saying, or like diamond, you know what I'm saying, artist. I don't do Michael Jackson numbers, anything like that. But what I do have is my own honest opinion about how I feel about things. I do have some time within the music industry, producing songs for artists. But that's whatever. That's in the past, and we're talking about what's happening now. So I've been going through and I've been checking out these beats, right? And what I see is a repetitive nature inside of the community when it comes to beat makers, where a lot of individuals are using the 808 kick drum, which is like an 808 bassier drum, and a lot though. And it kind of gets to the point where it gets very repetitive when you go from one channel to the next and everybody's using the same technique, same method, and the same 808, you know what I'm saying, format to make their beats. So what I've been commenting on individuals' channel is what I would like to see more is, people step out of that comfort zone of using the 808 kick drum for the bottom end, which is the low end, the low frequencies when it comes to making a track, to, adding a melodic bass line to complement their melodies. And that's just my honest opinion, that, when you add a melodic bass line, which has a chord progression, it will complement that chord progression that you use or either chopped up in a sample form. It'll complement that melody a lot better than an 808 kick drum. And the reason why I say that is because an 808 kick drum will keep you in the same, like, like rhythmic format. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like boom, boom, or like boom, ba boom. Or if you want to take it a step further and you want to try to make the 808 more melodic, that's when the drill beats come in and they start doing the 808 glides. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But when you use a melodic bass chord progression, you're more flexible in the way you use those chords to articulate the melody, to enhance the melody that you're trying to complement with the bottom end of your track. So that's the reason why I was giving a suggestion to a lot of producers that, it just, I would like to see more of a bassline progression, which technically can be a little bit harder to do, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to have the ear for it. You have to understand what key that sample is in, or the chord progression that you played out is in, or whatever the MIDI note file that you took to use to make your chord progression is in. Then once you find that, then you have to melodically play out a chord progression that enhances everything that's going on inside of your track. Rather than when you take a kick drum and it hits that initial attack hits, and then the melodic bass note will play after that hit. It's like a boom, then a that to me it's easier to do because it's already set for you. So it's kick drum and you just let that ride throughout the whole track. So you're stuck in that boom, 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 whatever you either you play out or you program it in, because a lot of people on FL Studio, so they're just programming it, just clicking the nodes. You know what I'm saying? It's you just stuck in that. Rather than with a chord progression, you could take one bass note out. You could, the scale, you could change the scale. You could go a little bit high up on the octaves on the bass notes. You could drop it down. You know what I'm saying? You could just shorten the bass notes at certain parts of the track. There's so many different things you can actually do with that bass, with the melodic bass notes, that could enhance the music production. Also, when you do a melodic bass line, when you take that melodic bass line that sounds very pleasing to the ear and you put it in certain parts of the track and you drop it out in certain parts of the track, it actually helps move that track along. One thing that I'm infamous on is I could do a 2-bar loop. I could make a full song out of a 2-bar progression that I played out on the keyboard. I could make a full song just with 2 bars by complementing that 2-bar loop, which actually turns into a 4-bar loop when I add the bass line to it, like a melodic bass line I play out on my keyboard. And I'm not seeing that on YouTube, and I see it sometimes, and when I do see it, I'm like, oh yeah, there we go, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Because that to me is music in a nutshell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rather than using the 808 or relying on the 808 to drive a track throughout the whole track. Now, when I was in school, what they taught me was, my professor was like, he asked the class, what drives the track? And a lot of people had a lot of different answers. And he said, what drives the track is the bass. It's the low end that pushes the track along. And I've never forgot that. So I always pay attention to the bottom end, because the bottom end is going to push the track along. And you can hear it. You drop the bass notes out of a track and let the track just ride. Then bring the bass notes back in and watch how that track just picks up and starts going. Do it. Try it. You know what I'm saying? I challenge you. Try it. I never forgot that, and it's amazing. And one thing that he also said, and I also grew to understand, is the bass note shouldn't overpower the entire track. I mean, if you look at it on a frequency scale, it's at the bottom end. It's like the lowest thing. It's that rumble, you know what I'm saying? That, when you get down to the bottom end of the frequency chart, let's say take an EQ, okay? That bottom end is supposed to make you feel something. It's supposed to give you that, you know what I'm saying, that rumble, that warmth, you know what I'm saying? So technically, the bass part of the track is supposed to be more of like a feel rather than overpowering the track. So when you add an 808 and it's the loudest thing in the track and it's like boom, 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 throughout the whole track, it's kind of hard to listen to. You know, it's kind of hard to listen to that throughout the entire beat. Whereas there's no change up, there's no progression. It doesn't, the 808 doesn't help progress the track all the way through. Whereas a melodic bass line, most of the time, does that. So, you know, I'm just challenging y'all guys and girls, you know what I'm saying? Try it. Try melodic. Take your next 10 beats or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Don't even add the 808. Don't even look for 808 for your beat. Try to play out a melodic chord progression on the bass notes or the mid to low bass frequencies to complement your track, and add a simple kick drum. And if you want to make the simple kick drum sound close to an 808 but not, one technique that I do use is I take that kick drum, I put a reverb on it, and I lower that reverb to around like 5%. What that's going to do is that's going to take that attack of that kick drum and it's going to soften it like poof, poof, poof. So it's kind of like an 808, but it's not an 808. It just softens it and makes it more like cool. I was going to say fluff. But yeah, I guess fluffy, like, you know, like almost like that pillow. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it still has that to it, but it softens it up. And take that and put that with a melodic bass line, and I'm telling you, watch the magic. And if you want to, you could in the MPC they got the ducking, the ducker, mother ducker, so you could use that to every time the kick drum hits, it dips into the bass line and comes out. You know what I'm saying? You could use ducking and FLs to all these programs. They got some type of ducking that you can do. You know what I'm saying? Try it, please. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, you know, it's kind of hard to go from every channel and everybody's just using 808s, 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 and they're drowning out the melody. I can't even focus on the melody because the 808 is just killing my speakers. Like some of y'all tracks sound like they're clipping too. It's too loud. You know what I'm saying? And the bass line is supposed to be more of a feel. You know what I'm saying? Like if you are a musical producer or a beat maker and you are into music, I would say go back and listen to songs from the 50s. Go back and listen to music from the 60s and the 70s. I didn't even get to the 80s. You know what I'm saying? The 80s was mostly like, you know, the bass lines were sick then too, but the 80s was mainly reverb and like, you know, synth wave pop. You know what I'm saying? And, the 80s is the best. Anyway, there was no 808 kick drums back then, but the bass lines were still present, still lush, and still ear candy, and they were set at a tone, a decibel level, which is a dB level. You ever see somebody say dB? That's just the way they measure volume. At a dB level that you would feel it, you would hear it, but it wasn't the main course. You know what I'm saying? Like it was grooving. You know what I'm saying? They would drop it out, they would bring it back in to drive that melody, because the melody is the meat of the track, along with the vocals that complement that, and it was just all cohesive. So I just jumped in the car. I just wanted to drop this video. I'm gonna put it on YouTube, and you know, hopefully people are receptive to it, because at the end of the day, that's all we have, man. You got to be honest. You know, I don't want to go to your channel and be like, drop like 10,000 fire emojis and be like, yo, this is crazy, this is hot, this is fire. When in all reality, there's a lot of technical issues with your tracks or your beats. You know what I'm saying? And you might not even know that. And it's always good to have an outside ear or person tell you that. That's why in my comment section for my videos, I kind of don't like it when people come in there and they just drop like, yo, this is fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, did you really listen to it? Give me some constructive criticism. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you really heard. Let me know what you didn't hear that you would like to hear. You know what I'm saying? So then I could go back, listen to my music and be like, oh, wow, you know what? Or be like, I know I don't really, I kind of don't agree with what they're saying, but maybe, and then my empathy is always hooked up. You know what I'm saying? I'll go try it and see. And then I also will come back and be like, you know what, that suggestion, I ain't like it at first, but I did try it. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes some people might give a suggestion that it doesn't really fit with what you were actually trying to do with that specific track too. You know what I'm saying? So that might be another thing. My suggestion might not fit with what you were actually really trying to do with that track. And my suggestion is just my own opinion, you know what I'm saying? But maybe the next track that you come with might have that melodic bass line. You know what I'm saying? But if 3 out of 4 beats is all 808 on your channel, well then my comment does fit, because you're not really challenging yourself and taking that next step to actually, you know what I'm saying, really get in and really perfect that craft and really make the beat, really complement that melody. You know what I mean? But like you know, like my sister, you know, Erica always says, man, you know what I'm saying? Everybody just thinks different, everybody operates differently, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm just trying to do here is, in this video, is basically let the community know, you know, it's not all about the 808 kick drum. You know what I'm saying? If you get down to the nitty gritty of it, way before the 808 even came out, melodic bass lines and still melodic bass lines complement every other piece of the orchestrated piece of work, the orchestrated sound recording. So this video's long. So I'm gonna get off. I just wanted to talk to the community and say, hey, you know what I'm saying, just give it a try. Next 5 beats, 10 beats, don't use an 808. Don't even think of it that way. Just get down to the nitty gritty of those bass lines and watch you see the difference. Add a little reverb to the kick drum, not the 808, the kick drum. See the difference. Another thing, bring down the hi-hats. They're too high, they're piercing my eardrums. They're too sharp. A lot of people are not using reverb on their hi-hats to sit it back. You know what I'm saying? The way that there's 4 different ways of panning. Well, it's 2 ways of panning, but it's 4 directions. To pan north and south, which is, you know what I'm saying, backwards and forwards inside of a track, is using reverb. A lot of beat makers do not know that. So when somebody says, yo, pan me something south, north, that's reverb. Panning left and right, it's just a regular pan. You just turn the knob left or right. You know what I'm saying? So please bring down the hi-hats. Let them sit into the mix. Pan them so they're not always sitting in the middle. Bring down the snares. The snares are too piercing. You gotta roll off the top end because it's too crisp. Meaning like the high levels, you gotta cut some of those out so that it sits back into the track. Add a reverb. Add a multi-chorus on these things. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different techniques that, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do a tutorial showing this stuff, but there's a lot of different techniques that actually have you bring that track together, tighten it like a glue, even without mastering. Most of my beats you hear online, they're not even mastered yet, and they sound tight, glued together, because it's that mix, you know what I'm saying, between the bass, your mid-tone, your melody, and the highs, and then the percussion. It has to, you know what I'm saying, you gotta get down to the nitty-gritty. Don't rush your beats out there. Everybody's rushing. They trying to get mad beats out. Mad beats are trying to get those views, you know what I'm saying? They jump into this page, that page. Big comment, yo, come check out my stuff. Come on. Let's get down. Let's be real producers. 05 Dynasty, man. I'm out. I gotta keep it real. I gotta speak the truth. If nobody else is gonna do it, I'll do it. I'll take the heat. I'll take them people not liking me for it. I'll do it.